books are on the shrine, whether you should buy them. He shows them off real fine. It's ShrineWatch and DBD news. ShrineWatch, that's what I'm telling you. ShrineWatch will get all the news. We'll make a survivor scream. Save up, brother. Save up, yeah, save up. Get ready for the show.
Welcome everyone to ShrineWatch and Dead by Daylight News with me, Panda. Now today we're going to break this into two videos. I'll put up the news right now and then tomorrow we will do the games. The reason is I had some really great games. They go on for a long time and I really want to put them out there, but I don't want the video to drag on for too long and just be, unwatchable by most people. So check back tomorrow for the ShrineWatch portion of the show. So of course the mid-chapter patch is here. We have the new Haddonfield back in the game. Ghostface and Legion got a pretty big rework. The hemorrhage effect also got a rework, and we've got a couple of little changes in the game. Circle of healing's been nerfed, awesome. Boilover's been reduced a little bit, also awesome. And from the PTB, they have actually changed the Ghostface music a little bit. They've made it a little bit less intense. Here is what the new one sounds like. So that is great as far as I'm concerned, because it really did give me a bit of a headache. So that is nice. But is everyone talking about this? Are they talking about Legion? Are they talking about Ghostface? No, they are not. They are talking about Behavior's announcement, which is coming in line with the new Tome. So the new Tome is coming and it involves the twins, Charlotte and Victor, and also David King. And Behavior have come out and made a statement about David that has got, it's got a lot of discussion going on around it. So if you have not seen, Behavior have come out and said that Dead by Daylight now has its first gay character, and David King is that character. One of our early on survivors that were put into the game. And before I talk about anything else regarding this, I do actually think that this is the perfect way to do it, really. If they were not going to bring in a new character with this background, and I do think we will get more characters like this going forwards, but the way to do it would be like this. David King's original lore in the game, when you pressed F1, is very short. It's 3 paragraphs. The original characters we got had basically no lore. It was just a little bit of pretext, and that was that. If you compare it to Yoichi or Jonah or any of the new characters, they've got a huge book of lore. So with the Tome being here, and we're gonna have, we're gonna have movies, we're gonna have massive amounts of Tome text. They are gonna basically say in there that David is gay, or they're gonna involve something to do with his life, and that is going to become part of it. So they've said straight up that that is going to be a thing, that David is there, and it makes sense to me. They're not going to put in the 3 paragraphs where they talk about David, they're not just going to put, by the way, he's gay, but it makes a lot more sense that when you get a whole bunch of fleshed out, loads of lore, that in there they can actually flesh the character out, talk more deeply about the character, the background, and as far as I'm concerned, it makes fine sense for them to do this in this Tome. So this is being celebrated, as far as I can see, in the LGBT community. We are probably going to see more characters in future actually have stuff like this happen, when the lore gets fleshed out for these characters, and I'm sure that we will get some new characters in the future that are also part of the LGBT community. And it really does not change anything about the game whatsoever. If you liked David King before, there is really no reason to not like David King now. Sort of similar to if a friend of yours comes out as gay, does it really change your friend that much at all? Does it change your opinion of them? If it does, there may be an issue with you. And of course, though, this has created some controversy in the community because there are people out there who are not tolerant, people who do not like gay people. They hate the idea of this being in a game or being a character that they know and love. Of course, there are going to be people who take this and be toxic with it, but really that is just completely unnecessary. As far as I'm concerned, this is a great little change. It's in there. It doesn't change much, but it does give representation to more people and also opens up more character variation and more character depth in future. If this upsets and confuses you, maybe you need to take a little look in the mirror and reevaluate your thoughts. And with this, we also have the Pride 2022 code. Enter this into the store to get the existing rainbow flag and the progress flag charm. So moving on, the new Haddonfield is definitely interesting. I actually think after playing a few rounds on this, it's actually quite a fun map. A lot of the buildings are going to take a bit of getting used to. I found a building earlier and it had 2 vaults in the same wall of one building, which just made it really hard to loop around. In fact, I don't know if it's an infinite. Is it an infinite? I really was struggling to catch players around it. And we can see here there's a bit of an issue. Some of the bedrooms get locked off, and actually a hex totem can spawn inside that bedroom, making it so the survivors cannot possibly get in there. Now, I do expect them to fix this pretty fast because that is a huge bug. You know, if you've got a Devour Hope in there, the game is essentially yours. But from the PTB, they've gone through and they've done a pass on the lighting because the lighting was just incredibly dark before. The shadows were just black, but they've actually classed it up a little bit. They've put a few more light bulbs in and they've reduced some of that impenetrable darkness. But I'm a big fan of it. I'm actually looking forward to playing this. I'm looking forward to a bit more variation into the map pool. You know, it's not always just going to be bloody cornfield all the time. We're actually got a bit more variation, which is just fantastic. So we had a monstrous amount of skins added into the game yesterday with the patch actually available on the store. We have the Blight. He's overgrown. He's got green on him. I wonder if the syringe for his Mori makes them go green. I'm not entirely sure. We've got a Michaela set here that actually looks way better than all the other sets. I really, really like it. We've got the artist in her springtime gear. She's crafted it for herself. We've got, you know, roots coming up over her face, and her weapon is actually a sword instead of just being this weird, what was it before? Just like an inky splodge coming out of her hand. Very cool. And with this as well, we have a skin for Jonah, which is looking, well, definitely different to how I imagined Jonah in the past. Definitely gives a different feel to it, and I am a fan, I've got to say. And also a skin for Zarina. I'm not really sure what I think of this jacket with half down on one side, but let's face it, I am pretty much fashion challenged myself. So maybe this is the height of fashion. I don't know, but it looks kind of cool. And speaking of skins, we of course have a bunch of leaks from the upcoming chapter, and Skemo, the absolutely fantastic guy Skemo. If you don't already follow his YouTube channel, you definitely need to take the link in the description and go and check him out. He makes these high quality renders using the data mined skins from the files, and we can check them out here. We've got lovely Feng Min with a big hat. Of course, we needed more skins for Feng. I'm gonna say no more. She looks pretty damn cute. We finally have a new skin for Jeff that is not just black, gray, brown, or white. It is his video combo uniform. I assume that Jeff works in a video store. It's different. Honestly, it's different. You know what? I'll take it. Nia's got an absolutely badass set here. I don't know what we're gonna call this or what it is called, but it is sick. I love the hood. I imagine it's probably gonna be a legendary set, seeing as the coat comes all the way down past the knees, but looks really sick, honestly. I really like that. We've got a skin here that Skemo is called Meg Prime. A Meg with really short hair. She's got a mask on. She's basically, I think this will come with Nia as some sort of urban adventurer set. Looks sick, honestly. Looks really sick. Of course, with the Tome, we're getting a skin for Charlotte. You can see here we've got, as far as I'm concerned, like Admiral Charlotte. I don't know what they're actually going to call it, but Charlotte looking ready to command a battleship. She's got a nice hat on. Unfortunately, Victor does not have a little hat on. Still waiting for that to happen behavior. And David also has a new set as well. He's got a pair of glasses on. He's got some gold. He's got a golden belt buckle. Looking pretty cool. And of course, he's exposing his chest in the typical David fashion. And actually in his back pocket, he's got a bloody mobile phone. What? Maybe you should just call for help. Call the police. And then finally, a new skin for Legion, which is absolutely terrifying. I love this mask with the face, like bits of magazine pasted across it. I just think it's incredibly creepy, and I really, really like it. Honestly, I don't play Legion much. I need to try them out in the new patch, but this skin, if I can just buy the mask, I am gonna be wearing that every single, in fact, maybe the entire set. It's really cool. I really, really like this. And we have a video for the Tome 11 Devotion. This is the reveal for it. Let's check it out. Here we go.
As Captain Pierce leads the weary travelers through the unknown, they happen upon an abandoned tower, a beacon of hope in the seemingly endless abyss. Cautiously, she searches the room for any hidden threats.
So that tome is coming out today. I assume it's going to be in a second, just after I edit this video, like it always does. Now, I've got to be honest, I am not completely in tune with all of the Dead by Daylight lore. It does go a little bit over my head, seeing as I wasn't playing when the tomes and the archives really first came out. I wasn't able to keep up with everything as it went, so I'm a little bit lost with what's happening here. But we see the Observer's Tower, and we see the survivor going down there. Is that Hattie Core? I feel like that is going to be Hattie Core. They really put a lot of time into showing her as definitely the main character there. So I think that was our first peek at the new survivor for the next chapter that we're going to be getting in about 6 weeks from now. From what I've seen though, we have not seen any indication of what the next killer is going to be yet. We have not had any more tips or hints from Behavior, but of course we're going to be keeping our eyes out for that coming up over the next couple of weeks. So interesting stuff. We've definitely got some content coming in the future, and really I think I just need to apply myself and actually figure out the lore, sort of get a little bit of perspective and go a bit deeper into it. Let's have a little look at the fan art corner and check out the beautiful things that people have made this week. Ramen Pot has been busting out the survivor geese. We have a Jake Park, we've got a Meg Thomas, we've got Dwight there with a map and a Claudette, and we also have a David Goose. They are going to be doing all of the survivor geese. If you didn't see before, they've already done all of the killers. I talked about them as they came out. The geese, this seems to be a big theme here. I feel like Behavior should at this point put a little goose charm into the game because people seem to really love these geese. I want to see a Jeff one. Let's have Jeff coming up next. Genpack, as always, coming out with some cool renders here. We have got the Spirit jumping up on some survivors on a generator. I just think that these are always put together so beautifully. They just look absolutely super. And Blue Rainy really has come up with a different art style here. We've got Yui here with her bike, and really this is just so different to what we usually see. I love the style of it. I would hope to see more of this coming in the future. Pugliuso has a portrait of Heather Mason. I'm liking all of these portraits of these survivors. Honestly, they're just not smiling, you know, they're just looking into the camera with this sort of distant gaze. Just miserable to be in Dead by Daylight. You know, it can't be a good thing to be in Dead by Daylight. It's gonna feel bad. Moist Squirt 69 has got a self-care tattoo on their forearm. Definitely not the perk of choice that I would get if I was going to get one tattooed on me, but it looks pretty good nonetheless. And Chisame has done an absolutely awesome bit of Legion fan art just in time for the Legion to get a buff. I absolutely love the art styles. I feel like this week we've got some really beautiful things, really different art styles, and it just looks great. Honestly, I am just so in awe of people who can make beautiful things like this. I wish I could create stuff like this. Demonic Zanimal has made Gerald, everyone's favorite monstrosity where you mix the James head on the Cheryl body. I've seen a lot of people using this recently. It is monstrous, and honestly it hurts my eyes to see, but it's kind of fun, you know. And I think maybe my favorite piece of fan art from the week from Silly Bollocks, we have the pig here cuddling her little jigsaw puppet. It's just beautifully done. What more can I say? It's just really good. So there is our memes, our news, and everything from the week. Let's jump onto the ShrineWatch portion of the show and check out the Shrine of Secrets. Starting with our survivor perks, our first perk, it's only third time on the shrine. It's a Zarina perk and I love it. It is Red Herring. After working on a gen for 3 seconds, Red Herring will light up and be active, and the next time that you get into a locker, it will trigger a failed skill check alert for the killer on the generator that you were working on. This is great because it means you can work on a gen for a couple of seconds, walk to the other side of the map, get into a locker, and the killer will think that someone's on that generator and go over there. It's a great way to distract, it's a great way to plan the game to take the killer away from a certain generator or from a certain hooked survivor. And really, I've got to say, it's just quite a fun perk to use. As the killer, it's bloody frustrating because you go over to a generator and there's literally no one there, and you know, you had no way of knowing that. But it is, as far as I'm concerned, a pretty powerful perk when used appropriately. Our second perk is a David King perk. It's 8th time on the shrine. We have We're Gonna Live Forever. This is the Survivor's extra blood point perk. This gives you up to 100% more blood points in a game. You need to get 4 tokens to achieve this 100%, and you get a token for safe unhooks and protection hits. Additionally, if a survivor is down on the ground, you heal them at 100% faster than you usually would. So really a good way to get people up if they've been slugged, and really, of course, you just get the extra blood points, which is always nice. You know, for killers, they've got barbecue and chili, but for survivors, we've got We're Gonna Live Forever. So if you want to farm, you want to get blood points, this is a decent perk to take. And over on our killer perks, our first perk is a cannibal perk. It's 8th time on the shrine. It is barbecue and chili. We just talked about it, and this is the way to get extra blood points as a killer. Whenever you hook a survivor, any survivors that are further than 40 meters away from you will have their auras revealed for 4 seconds, so you know exactly where they are across the map, you know where to go, you know which generators they're working on, etc. And each time you hook a survivor for the first time, you'll get 1 stack of this perk up to a maximum of 4. So if you hook every survivor once, you will get 100% extra blood points at the end of the match. And I've got to say the barbecue really is just a huge buff. You know, as killer, you always get more blood points than the survivors anyway, pretty much, if you don't play super badly and get bullied. But this also gives you aura reading and extra blood points. It's a really great way to just farm up the blood points so you can go and spend them on whatever you want. And our final killer perk is a twins perk. It's 3rd time on the shrine. Really nice to see perks that haven't been up on the shrine 20 times. We have Hoarder. Bit of an interesting perk. 2 additional chests will spawn in the game for the survivors to open, but whenever they start opening a chest or pick up an item within 64 meters, you will have a notification. You will see their aura, it'll make a little flash, it'll make a little sound, and you know where they are. This really pairs well with Franklin's Demise, where you can knock an item out of their hands, then they're going to go and try and pick it up again, giving you more information as to where they are. Really, it is all about information, and this works great with Pinhead because you can knock the Lament configuration out of the survivor's hands, pick it up yourself, commence the chain hunt, and also find out where everyone is. I've got to say though, on its own, this is kind of a weird perk as it just makes the survivors a bit stronger. It will give you a notification of where they are, but you're essentially giving them 2 more items that could be medkits, could be flashlights, you know, could be a key even. Kind of a strange one, but when you combo it with other perks and actually play with purpose, this can be an absolutely beautiful one. I suppose as well, you could actually hard counter it with a cut coin, so you get that alert, but they don't have the extra chest to open. So there are our perks, and what are my picks gonna be? Well, if you're a survivor, I would say Red Herring. I just love it so much. It's just such a fun perk, and it feels like you're really strong. You know, it feels like you can lead the killer to places that you're not at and draw the game out and give your other players a chance to actually get the gens done and to, you know, heal up and to unhook. Just gives you that time. Also, you don't need to buy Zarina, so if you've been waiting for this, grab it. But We're Gonna Live Forever, definitely good for blood point farming. But if you play Survivor and you love blood points, then We're Gonna Live Forever is just gonna give you those blood points. And over on our killer side, well, it's bloody obvious what I'm gonna pick. It's barbecue and chili. It's only been on the shrine 8 times, so just grab it while you can so you don't have to buy Leatherface. I hate Leatherface, I don't like playing him, and if I could have just got barbecue off the shrine, I would definitely have done that. So there are perks. Join me tomorrow where we're going to play a couple of games with these perks, have some good games. I've already recorded them. You're going to enjoy them. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you tomorrow. Panda out.